At that time I was having a weekly radio broadcast on a local radio about innovative music and experimental musics. And so it was successful a little bit. It has some success. So out of it we decided to try to create a festival. So it was very obvious for us, for example, that on the first year of MIMI Festival or second year of MIMI Festival, we were presenting unknown musicians that we would put under the spotlight on Sunday night and that we would send back to their caves on Monday morning. And that was a big problem. So very clearly, at the very early stage, we thought that there is a triangle with the 3 points, and each point is related to another, and you cannot separate these 3 points. One is amateur practice, like people playing in amateurs. Second is professionals, and third is audience. A large amateur development in the population gives you more chance to have a very good level of professionals. This very good level of professionals will give you more chance to have a high level audience, and a high level audience will drive you to bring more amateur practice. And this is this good circle that we have to create and sustain. So basically we have three family of programs inside AMI. So one is about training and practice. The second is about aesthetics, artistic, I would say. And the third is about micro businesses and networks. We have all the training workshops on music activity, such as music and computer, such as a large range of hip-hop music workshops. And these training activities are also the base of our activity when we do international cooperation programs. This is these workshops or this system of workshop that we use to do things in Africa, in the Middle East or in Russia. On the second chapter, aesthetics and artistics, we have the MIMI Festival, but now there are three MIMI Festival. There is one in Marseille, there is the MIMI North Festival in Russia, and there is the MIMI South Festival in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo. It's a non-profit organization. Members and board members cannot be employee from AMI. They must be non-profit people. So I am employed by the organization as the director of the organization, but I am not a member of the organization. Which means that twice a year I have to present to the board members of the organization the result of our work and the plans we have done for the future, including money-wise, and they approve or not. and they discuss this or that part. So in my board, and the members of AMI are a limited number of people, and the board is more or less the same since very long time. So they know me very well, and I don't know them very well. No, some of them are musicians, but not all of them are musicians, and not even all of them are working in the culture field. One is the director of a cement factory, another one is a teacher, another one is the director of the art school of Aix-en-Provence. They are very different people, but they are all in common, they love music, they are music lovers. I propose them a plan for next year, and they accept it or not.
So you make that plan?
I make the plans, and they give me the vote that I will realize the plan or not. If they don't like something in the plan, they discuss with me and they ask me to change it. But normally we should run about between 800,000 to 900,000 euro for the year, total budget. Workshops are free.
Free?
Yes. Rehearsal studio is free. All this kind of support is free. If you are you have a young business and you want to be supported by our CADO unit, which is this kind of kindergarten for enterprises, this is free. This is free. But this is the condition to be respected if we want to have public fund. So in years 72, 73, 74, this was the first, what we call the first petroleum shock, and it was a big energetic crisis in the world. And a city like Marseille got very, very serious trouble and economic depression from this problem. It is said that between 75 to 92, 93, 94, nearly 20 years, Marseille city lost between 10,000 to 20,000 inhabitants every year. So the people who left were mostly, of course, middle-class people, so taxpayer. Factories stopped, they were taxpayer. So not only the city began to be empty with a lot of empty factories, but the city cash was empty because nobody was paying tax. At that time it was state company, it was not private, public company, it was a monopoly from state. If we can use this huge tobacco factory, this was the biggest tobacco factory in France before it was closed, so it's 12 hectares. It was about 3,300 workers in this factory when it was running. If we could use it for artistic purposes. Very quickly they said yes, because they have no other choice. Because you cannot buy houses on this land for the good reason that first you have to destroy the building and it costs a lot of money, and second, there is nobody to buy the houses. And keep it like an industrial estate is not interesting either, because if you want to create a factory, it's much cheaper to create the factory outside the city than inside the city. So 13 years later, there are about 70 different organizations or structure or companies that are on that place. And it's about nearly 400 people that work there every day. It goes from a very wide range of cultural activities, cultural companies. It could go from heritage public companies like the inter-regional workshop for the renovation of the paintings and the sculptures in the museums. This is a state organization. So this is about maybe 80 top-level technicians that are very skilled to renovate old paintings and things like that with the most advanced technologic tools. You have, of course, dance companies, theater companies, you have multimedia companies, television series filming companies. You have an organization like my organization, and you have even a part of the university, because the architecture high school of Marseille send for year number 4 of the curriculum, year number 4 in the curriculum, students come to La Friche. They didn't have that much problem at these days to find a space. It was not so much a space problem. It depends of which artist you talk. If you talk about visual artists, it was not difficult for them to find a place to do their studios. If you speak about musicians, that was difficult because there was no adapted place for working space. I am talking about working space. I'm not so much talking about concert hall or exhibition places, but I'm more talking about, because when you play music loud, for example, it's very difficult where to rehearse and work, etc. Yes. So they were expecting this kind of working space, but I think they were also expecting some kind of general dynamic. And the second thing I would like to say is about this word, alternative. The more I go, the more I do not agree with this term. First, I think it's a mistake from strategic point of view to think we are going to be alternative. I don't want to be alternative. I think we have to be right in the middle. Because if you accept to be alternative, it means that you accept to be in the margin. You should not be alternative. You are in the middle. We are citizens like everybody. We pay taxes. We are very normal people, and we are in the middle. I think it's a turning point. I think young people, this new generation, now they are not, maybe before, artists in Japan were looking or inside Japan or to Europe or America. Maybe now is the time for multilateralism, so that they should get friends with other artists in other parts of Asian countries and begin to network. You know, network is the communication that is not going through the center. That is my definition of networking. So it's time for networking, especially in Asia.